Let me ask you something. How long have you been thinking about making money outside of your job? 6 months? A year? 3 years? More? And in all that time, how much have you actually made? If the answer is 0 or close to it, this video is for you. Because I'm going to tell you some stuff that some creators won't tell you. You're not stuck because you're busy. You're stuck because you don't have a system that forces you to make money. And that is exactly what I'm going to give you today. Here's what I see constantly. Smart guys that are high performers, already at 6-figure salaries. A lot of them watching YouTube videos about starting a business, saving articles about business ideas, and buying courses they never finish. But still, no clients, no income, and worst of all, no movement. Viktor Frankl wrote something that changed how I see this. He said, the primary human drive isn't pleasure or power, it's meaning. I speak about this topic all the time in my coaching and speaking, and I'll add this. Men don't lose motivation because they're lazy. They lose it because they're working on the wrong thing. No feedback and no proof, no signal that what they're doing is working. So what happens? They consume more, plan more, and find more ways to prepare. And the gap between where they are and where they want to be just gets wider. I spent a few years in this exact cycle myself. I had the skills, I had the knowledge, I had the ideas. What I didn't have was a constraint. I was trying to figure out the perfect offer, the perfect platform, the perfect message, all before I had a single conversation. Which is ironic because one of my specialties is design thinking, where ideation and iteration are the stars. I help businesses understand how listening to real feedback is the best backbone to a product. I think I was treating my ideas as so precious, I was scared of what I would hear back. It's one thing to hear that my client's product needs work. I felt concerned about what others really thought about my services. It felt personal. There's also this concept in psychology called decision fatigue. When you have too many options, you don't choose better. You stop choosing altogether. That was me. And what broke the cycle wasn't more strategy. It wasn't better content. It was a system so simple, it left me no room to hide. The key is having the right constraints. I call it the 3-move system. Let's talk about it. It's based upon making 3 moves every day. And I want to be clear about something before I break it down. This is not a content strategy. It's not a brand building system. It's definitely not a post every day and hope. I keep seeing that likes and follows have little correlation with real clients. What I'm talking about is the income activation system. The goal is not a popularity contest, and it's not about social engagement. The goal is about finding your first paying client. Move 1, proof. The first move is 1 proof. You don't need to start with the content or even a post. You need proof. You need it as much for yourself as much as your potential clients. Every day, you do one thing that demonstrates you can solve a real problem. For example, you could answer a question on a LinkedIn comment. Write a breakdown of how you would approach a specific challenge. Write out a short framework that someone can actually use. This process of reverse engineering will reveal how much you actually know about this specific topic. Then it will become the key to building your solutions and services. Again, don't focus on building a brand. You are building a track record. When you're starting out, it's normal to feel nervous because it's new. Confidence comes not from faking it until you make it. It comes from proving to yourself you don't have to wonder if you can do it because you've already done it or something similar. Think of it this way. Every single interaction is a deposit in what I call your trust bank. You cannot withdraw client fees from an account you have never funded. Your proof doesn't have to be brilliant. It has to be specific. The mistake I see most guys make is trying to say something profound. What most people actually need is someone who can solve one concrete problem that they're facing right now. There's a phenomenon in psychology called the curse of knowledge. The more you know about something, the harder it is to remember how it felt to not know it. Your expertise feels obvious to you. To someone else, it's the exact answer they've been looking for. Get to work. Produce one proof. Work on it every day. Move 2. One reach. The second move is one reach. This is where most people fall off. They produce, post, and publish, but they never actually talk to anyone. And I get it. Reaching out feels a little like selling, and selling feels uncomfortable for many of us. I think it's because most of us have some baggage about how we view sales. It can feel like we're trying to force someone to do something they don't want. It can come from real personal experiences where that happened to us. But here's the reframe. I'm sure you can think of plenty of examples where when you bought something that made you legitimately happy about giving your money to someone else because the outcome or the product made your life better. It's not selling to sell. You're turning passive attention into an actual relationship. DM someone who commented on your post. Reply to someone else's post sharing a problem you can help with. Message someone from your warm network and ask, hey, are you dealing with this problem right now? The famous thinker Peter Drucker once said, the aim of marketing is to know the customer so well that the product sells itself. But you won't know the customer if you're not talking to them. One conversation can teach you more than 100 hours of market research. It gets past the ideas in your head. And here's what I've seen happen again and again. The men who skip this step end up spending months refining an offer that nobody asked for. Get to work. One reach. Work on it every day. Move 3. One offer. The third move is the one that changes everything. One offer. Every day, you need to make one move that could lead directly to money. You still serve, provide value, and build relationships, but what makes the difference is the intentional step. Make an offer. I can't deny that this takes some courage. To look at it a different way, I can see how it can feel almost like the first time you asked out a girl. It feels that personal because what you're pitching is yourself. You can't skip this step. You can't assume they'll get the idea and then they'll come toward you. It's your job to pursue if you want to make it happen. Propose a paid session. Pitch a small project. Ask, would you want my help with this? This is the part that separates the men who build businesses from the men who build audiences. Or worse, men who never do anything about it. You do not get paid for being helpful. You get paid for making offers. This quote cuts deep here. You must have the ambition to set an aim and pursue it with everything you have. Jordan Peterson. An offer is the concrete form of ambition. It's saying, I believe my skill is worth something, and I'm willing to figure out if I'm right. Most men never find out because they never ask. The list of excuses can be endless. They stay in the comfort zone of helping for free and calling it building trust. At some point, trust has to convert, or you need to move on. Get to work, one offer, and work on it every day. Here's the psychology behind the 3-move system. Almost all of the frameworks I work on are built upon things that are trusted around human behavior. Researchers call it the small wins effect. Every time you complete a small, concrete action toward a goal, your brain releases dopamine, and the momentum itself becomes a reward. You're not going to get it when you're just fantasizing about the goal, or even when you plan the goal. It happens when you take action toward the goal. You won't win them all, but 3 moves a day can mean several wins a week. Over 90 days, that's 270 deposits of action into your momentum account. And here's what doesn't get talked about enough. The 3-move system isn't a ceiling, it's the floor. Some days you'll do 3. Some days you could do 10, but never go to bed having done nothing. That single commitment changes your entire relationship with your new business. I want to be straight with you. This will not make you rich overnight. I'll explain in other videos, but I'm actually firmly against trying to get rich quick. You need to equate work as a good thing, and that will apply across your career or entrepreneurship. I'm not trying to get you to replace your salary in just 30 days. Sometimes it takes longer than that just to get clear on your offer. What it will do, if you actually put in the work, is get your first client faster than anything else you could try. And that first client changes the game. Not just because of the money, although money matters, but because it proves something to you that no course or YouTube can ever provide. That your skills have real-world value, that someone will pay you for what you know. That is real. Viktor Frankl wrote that suffering ceases to be suffering the moment it finds meaning. I would apply the same to uncertainty, which is its own kind of suffering. It ceases to be paralyzing the moment you get your first result. I want to share something personal. A lot of the men I work with aren't just stuck on strategy. They're stuck on permission. They're waiting to feel ready, waiting for the right moment, waiting for confirmation that this is what they're supposed to be doing. As a coach, I've studied a lot of frameworks for clarity, and here's what they all agree on. Clarity comes through motion, not thinking about it. You don't get clear first, you move first, and the path reveals itself. You don't need your whole path figured out. You just need to take your next step that you can actually work on. That's all the 3-move system asks. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, I have the skills, I know I can help people, but I still don't have a clear offer, a clear target, or a clear path to my first client. I work with tech professionals and consultants, people already making good money in their jobs, who want to change what they know into their first real income stream. If you work with me, we extract the skill, we build the offer, we land your first client in 90 days without quitting your job. The link is in the description. It takes less than 3 minutes to fill out the application. And if it looks like a fit, we'll get on a call and we'll walk you through exactly how the process works for your situation. That's it. Get to work, make 3 moves, and work at it every day. I pray you start today. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I talk about work, meaning, and how to get to a decision. My name is Chris Almanza, career and purpose coach and speaker. I wish you peace and success. God bless you.